Hi dears, welcome back to another session of our class. So today we'll be dealing with the continuation of the last class, correct? So in last class we had discussed about, started with animal tissues, right? And in detailed version we had discussed about what epithelial tissue, and in epithelial tissue we discuss simple epithelial tissue, stratified epithelial tissue, then cuboidal epithelial tissue, ciliated epithelial tissue, and along with many examples to which this category belongs to. I hope you have read your textbook and you are well versed with the example and the type of the epithelial tissue, right? I know it makes a little bit confusion. To avoid that, my dears, do the work by writing. Then it will not be easily forgotten. Okay. So today we are going the second part of animal tissue. First one was epithelial tissue and we had discussed in detail, right? In the second portion we are dealing with connective tissue. Connective tissue. So I would like to get into this connective tissue by citing a common familiar example. Yes, that is blood. From the lower class itself, we had studied the definition of blood, right? How we can define blood? Yes, blood is a fluid connective tissue, correct? How it is coming under the connective tissue, that is we are going to see. The blood cell, the connective tissue, that is the blood, they are having loosely packed cells, completely loosely packed cells, clear? And they are embedded in an intracellular matrix. Intracellular matrix. Okay, this matrix can be either a jelly-like fluid, or it can be dense, or it can be rigid. So the composition of matrix is determined, or it is defined, or it is determined by the functioning of the which connective tissue is present. Clear? So based on the type of the connective tissue present, the property or the composition of the intracellular matrix can be differed. Got the idea? Okay. So coming to blood. So they are having loosely this blood connective tissue. This connective tissue are having completely loosely packed cells. And what about their matrix? Their matrix is fluid matrix. The matrix is fluid matrix. Can you name the fluid matrix of the blood? Which is the fluid part of the blood? Yes, it is the plasma. Isn't it? Plasma is the fluid part of the blood. Now, what all things do the plasma contain? Yes, it contains RBC, then WBC, then yes, platelets. So, blood contains RBC, WBC and platelets. All these things we had studied, right? So these are the cellular components of the blood which are embedded in the fluid matrix, that is plasma. In addition to these blood cells, they also have certain salts, enzymes, hormones and all, this plasma. Okay. Now, you know what is RBC, right? Red blood cell, or the other name is erythrocyte. Erythrocyte. Clear? WBC, white blood cells and platelets. Clear? What are these functions we have studied in our 8th standard? Right. Platelets are meant for this clotting purpose. Then WBC altogether they are formed for the defensive mechanism. Do you know one thing? In your textbook, figure 6.10 E, that depicts the blood. See, blood is having different types of cells. Typically, the WBC is being divided into many cells. The thing that I am going to say, you don't write or you don't want to study it. For your further clarification only, I am telling, since in your textbook a figure is being given, 6.10 E. That gives the different types of blood cells. That include monocyte, then lymphocyte, then eosinophil, or we can say eosinophil, then neutrophil, and last but not the least, basophil. All these are the different types of blood cells that comes under WBC. Now, what is the main function of this? What's the main function of WBC? Yes, they are meant for the defensive purpose, right? One or the other, these all are helping this WBC for the defensive mechanism. In your higher session, you will study in detail how they are functioning, which all cells helping which all defensive mechanism and all in your higher session. No need to go for the further details. And in this figure 6.10 E, the shapes of the different types of these monocytes, lymphocytes, eosinophil and all are given. So these are the 5 types of WBC. Clear? No need to study, no need to draw, nothing. But for your general clarification, I just told. Okay? I hope it's clear to you. Okay. Coming back to blood, we were discussing about the different cells that is present in plasma. Right? RBC, WBC, platelets. Now tell me, what are the functions of blood? These and all you have to write in your notebook, okay, along with the class. So the main functions of the blood includes the transport of respiratory gases, right? Oxygen and carbon dioxide and all are transported by the help of blood to different parts of the cell and from different parts of the cell to lungs, etc. Then it will carry the digested food to different parts of the cell from the site of absorption. Then it will transport the waste materials from different cells to site of excretory organ. Correct? Then it transports hormones, it transports enzymes, it transports water. Clear? So all these things you have to write by bullet or 1, 2, 3 like this. Clear? So that's all about blood. Now we are going to see another type of, so blood is one type of connective tissue. Now we are going to see bone, which is another connective tissue. You know that what is bone? They are the structural framework of our body. They support our body, right? All the muscles are anchored to this framework and they anchors the movement of muscles. Like that's why we are able to move to every work. Correct? Then and also they are supporting our internal organs too. Correct? Okay. So what about their tissue? We discussed blood is are having loosely packed cells, but bone we know that they are strong. Yes, their tissues are strong and not flexible also. What happens if the bone are flexible? We will be shaking. We don't have a correct posture. Correct? Okay. And the matrix. What about the matrix? Matrix are quite hard and it composes the presence of calcium and phosphorus. You know that bone needs calcium and phosphorus for its normal function. So the matrix which is very hard, the matrix contain calcium and phosphorus. Okay, so that's all about bone. And before going to another type of connective tissue, we can discuss a little more detail about bone. When two bones are connected to each other, it is the two bones are connected each other by a connective tissue known as ligament. What it is known as? Ligament. Ligament is a connective tissue which connects two bones. Okay, clear? Ligaments connects to bones. Ligaments are elastic in nature and they are also having considerable strength. And also ligaments are having very little matrix. Very little matrix ligaments are having. Is that clear? That is all about ligaments. The next another type of connective tissue is tendon. Tendon is a connective tissue which connects a bone to muscle. A connection or a connective tissue which connects a bone to muscle is termed as tendon. Tendon. Clear? Tendon. Okay. Its tendon is a fibrous tissue with greater strength but little flexibility since it is connected with bone and muscle. Tendon connects bone and muscle. Okay. Now the next topic is cartilage. Cartilage, which is another type of connective tissue, and they are having widely spread cells. Cartilage. They are having widely spaced cells. Again, their matrix are solid, which is composed of sugar and proteins. Now, what do cartilages do? Cartilages provide a smooth surface over the bone. Clear? Over the bone, the smooth surface is due to the presence of this cartilage. And also we can see at the tip of our nose cartilage is present in our ear pinna. We can bend our ear pinna and all, and tip of the nose and all. All these are due to the flexible cartilage. Their matrix is solid. Which contains proteins and sugar. Clear? So these are the subconnective tissues that is coming under bone: ligament, tendon, cartilage. Clear? And their features regarding their matrix and cell. I hope it's clear. Okay. Now we are moving to another type of connective tissue, that is areolar connective tissue. Areolar connective tissue. Yeah. Areolar connective tissue. Now, what is this connective tissue doing? They are acting as a connective tissue between skin and muscle. Between skin and muscle, these areolar tissues are seen. These areolar connective tissues are seen between the skin and muscles and also around blood vessels. Okay, around blood vessels, and also they fill the space inside the internal organs. Okay, and where is our fat stored in our body? We are consuming several fatty food and also several fatty things are have to be stored in our body. Where it is being stored? Yes, it is stored in a special connective tissue, and that connective tissue is known as adipose tissue. They are meant for the storage of fat and they are seen below the skin. Clear? Typically they are seen below the skin and also between the internal organs. adipose tissues can be seen. Now, when we are checking the cells of this tissue, these tissues are filled with fat globules. Okay, they are a little bit spongy also. They are filled with fat globules, not like a spongy thing, but since it is filled with fat globules, we can expect likewise. Okay, so since they are storing fat and all, they can act as good insulator. The fat storage tissues are acting as good insulators. Clear? So today I am taking only this topic, only the connective tissue. Today we discussed blood, different types of cells, its features, its functions. Then we came to bone, new terms we had discussed, tendon, ligament, cartilage. Then we went to another new term, that is areolar tissue, which is a connective tissue that connects skin and muscle. And the last but not the least, we discussed about adipose tissue, right? It's a fat storage tissue seen below the skin and also between the internal organs. I know you are doing your works and all clearly, and many of you are sending me the notes. I'm too happy to see all that. Those who are lagging a little bit back, please do send me the notes. I want to see your notes. Regarding the figures, as I always tell, it should be neat, clear, and labeling should be correct. I know you are doing the work clearly. So for time being, I'm winding up the class. If you're finding any kind of difficulties, you could contact me and I am here to help you. Okay, so stay safe. Include all of us in your prayers. So it's time to say goodbye. Thank you.